Hi everyone. Excuse me. Today I need to cut 30 squares or rectangles, and so I thought I would do it on I have the Cricut Maker, and I have my rotary blade in. We're sideways because that's the only way I can fit the mat, so you can see the mat going in. I mean, it'll come out over here, but that's not the important part. So we're a little sideways. I hope that works out for you all right. So I have the fabric mat, which is the pink one. It says fabric grip. I have some fabric, and I always iron my fabric before I cut it. And I know sometimes I'll see videos where the person says, "Oh, I don't iron it," and it's also wrinkly, and they spread it on, and that's fine because the sticky of the mat is holding it down. But the part of the point of ironing your fabric before you work on, number one, it's just a good habit to be in. Number two, you want to starch it, or I use best press to give the fabric a little more body. Even if I was cutting with a rotary cutter and a ruler, I would still do that. Sometimes you're cutting on the bias, that you're cutting half square triangles or whatever, and it helps that not to stretch that fabric. So it's always better before you cut with a rotary cutter, Cricut, or whatever you cut with, is to fabric starch, or like I said, I use best press, and I have a link below that'll take you to my page where I have a list of all the products that I use in case you can't find them in your local store. And I will say I do get a little commission on anything you should purchase at no cost to you. So I thank you if you purchase. But most everything I use, I try to keep there in that, and I put it all on one page so I didn't have like a ton of links for each product. So I would best press it or starch it. When you best press it, and I'm sure it's the same with starch, you want to press until it's dry. So if you put best press on, and you ironed it a bit and it still feels damp, make sure you press it till it dries, because if you press it until it dries, both sides of the fabric, it'll give you more body on your fabric, and that's really what you want. So I'm gonna switch over to the Cricut design space and show you. Well, we'll do this together and see how it works out. Okay, so I'm on the screen, and I'm just going to do new project. It's going to be fairly simple. So I'm going to come over to the shapes, and I'm on the left-hand side here. I'm going to come up to the square, and it doesn't matter what size it is. I'm just going to click out here. I always change the color because working with just black and white seems kind of boring. So let's just I will pick blue today. It doesn't matter because we're not coloring anything, but whatever color you like to look at, pick that one. Now I want to select this square because I really want a rectangle. So when I come up to the size area, and you can see I'm along the top, I'm moving my cursor back and forth, and there's a little lock, and the lock is there so that it's a square now. So if I wanted to make a 3-inch square, I could put the 3 in, and it would automatically, in the width or length, and it would automatically make the other one the same size. Well, I don't want that. I want a rectangle. So I'm going to do the unlock, and my width is, let me double check my pattern, is 2.5. So I'm going to put in 2.5, and it's always easier just to tab over to the next part. And then this one, did I put 2.5? Oh, no, it's 25. So if you want to back tab, let me see, I have to remember, is it Control Shift? It's Shift and tab will take you backwards. So I want 2.5, and then I can tab, and then I need it to be 5 inches. And then I can tab off of that, and that'll just make it the right size. Now, my mat is 12 inches wide. My fabric is about 11 inches wide. The length doesn't matter. I didn't realize this until recently, and I'll show you what I mean. of the fabric, I mean. It only matters what part's on the mat. So I want to have 4 across. That would make 10 inches. So when I'm clicked on this rectangle, I'm going to come way over to the right where it says duplicate, and I'm going to hit that. So I have 3 more times, so I have 4 of them. Okay. I'm just going to move these sort of like that. Don't have to be perfect. I'm going to select them all, so I'm going to drag a box over all of them. And you can see over on the left that they're all darker. And I'm going to come up to the top where it says align. And I want to, first I'm going to center them. Let me see, let's see if this works. Distribute vertically. And see, it didn't do too much. So I think it will work if we go to align and then we center horizontally. Now they're all in a row. And let's see if we center them vertically. They should then all be on top of one another. And now let's see if we can do distribute horizontally. Or is it vertically? I never can remember. Let's try the other way. And distribute vertically. And see, they don't move. So I want to click out here so I don't have them all selected. And I'm not sure, I'm not, an expert on this software. So I'm not quite sure why it doesn't do that. But let's get them sort of lined up. Select them all again. And now let's see if the alignment vertically, they didn't do anything. Horizontally. I think they have about the same space apart, but this guy right here is he's a little down from the rest. So I'm going to move them a little closer. So you may be better versed at this than I am. So I think I'll go a little closer because they really only need to be cut apart from each other. So let's try that and that. Okay, now I want another row of them. So I'm going to select them all again. Make sure that I have all of them are darker over here. And I'm going to do duplicate. So it duplicated all 4. And I just need to bring them down a little ways. Okay, so now I have 4 across, 2 down. And because they're 5 inches, 5/10, that's 10 inches. I can't go any further because of a 12-inch mat. I could get out my bigger mat, but I'm going to show you how. I kind of like working with the smaller mat. So I want to make sure that I've picked my maker, and I did. And I'm going to come over to make it. So I'm at the top right. And that looks good on the mat. So I'm 11 inches. If I said 10, I'm 11 inches wide of fabric. So I'm going to move this over. So I don't want to move one. So let's see if I can grab them all. No, there's no way to grab them all. Okay, so I'm going to just put that back where it was. There we go. So I'm just going to leave that as it is. I have a little room over here. I have room at the top, and I have plenty of room at the side. I'm going to go ahead and click on Continue. And it's hooking up to my maker, hopefully. And I want cotton, so I did some favorites here. And if you don't know how to do the favorites, so if you browse the materials, and let's just say I want, let's just pick something here. I want, I don't know, burlap. Say I want, let's go with canvas. Say I want canvas fabric. Over here on the right, see the little star right there? If you click on that, and then I think I clicked outside, and see how it brought it up? There it is, canvas. So anything you find in the list when you do that search, go ahead and click on that little star, and it'll bring it up into your into the beginning area, so you don't have to go search for it. So we're just going to use cotton. Cotton bonded means we would have put a fusible webbing on. We're not doing that because we're piecing. So we just want cotton. I've already loaded in my rotary cutter. So let me just get my mat ready, and I will switch back over to the other screen. So let me go ahead and get my mat ready because I don't have a lot of room right here to do that. Okay, so I got a little room now. I put the front of the machine up. So I'm going to go ahead and lay this down. Sorry. I'm going to make sure that I'm straight. I want to make sure I don't have any air bubbles. And let me get my little roller. Just to be on the safe side. And what I want to show you is, oh, she's almost not my computer roller, is I've got fabric hanging off the end, and that's okay as long as it's on the end that's away from where you're putting the mat in. So I'm going to go ahead and load my mat. I just want to make sure this fabric stays out of trouble. Okay, and once I loaded my mat, the screen, I'll go back to the screen just in case you're not sure. So the screen changed, and now it's, I did the second one, and then now I just have to press go. So there's nothing else to touch here. So I just got to hit the Cricut. I always have my spatula handy in case I need to press anything down. And see how this fabric is just minding its own business. I wouldn't want a great big long piece that's hanging off of the table and pulling the mat back, but as long as it's up on your table, it's fine. So I'm going to go ahead and let this cut, and I'll be right back. Okay, so it finished cutting, and you can see right here, up in this corner, I'm out here, that it's flashing for the unload. I'm going to do that. I'm just going to put this up. Move it out of the way a little bit. And I'm going to slowly so here's the only waist I have. I'm going to cut that off right away. Okay, so here's the only waist I have. I still need to cut more, so I'm going to continue on with that piece of fabric. And I'm just going to go ahead and I want to use my spatula. You're going to get a little bit of raveling, and depending on the fabric that you have. So you just want to be careful. See, there's a little bit of, you see the couple strings right by my thumb? Okay. So I just want to use my spatula along the edges so I don't make it more ravelly. And you can see I'm just running right up along. And see, that way I'm not getting as much raveling as if I was just yanking it off of the sticky mat. And this is the rest of my waist. I'm not digging in or anything, I'm just going right along my fabric. But see, I pulled that one, and it got a few more threads there. And now I can just clean the rest of this off my mat. I don't have to be perfect about it because I'm going to go ahead and cut some more. I need 5 more. Because I have to do 31. One of them is gray just by itself, so 30. And half of them are green and half of them are yellow. So that's 15, and we did, oh, wait a minute, I was thinking we did 5 across, but we did 4 across. So I have 8, and I need 7 more. So again, I'm not going to, let me see if some of that crumbly comes up. I'm just taking off the big pieces. Okay, I'm going to set these aside just over here. I'm going to go ahead and get my fabric ready again. Oh, one piece just wants to play games with me. Yep. And I will get my roller again. And so I need 7 more. I've got to make sure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, I had to make sure I had enough fabric coming down. I've got an inch more than I need. And you notice I left the salvage on, and that's fine. In this case, I leave my salvage on just in case I want to cut like way close to this edge. I'd rather have a little extra fabric there. So, let's open this up again. And now we're going to go back to our design space. So let me change the screen. Okay, and it says, please check that your machine's connected. Okay, I'm all connected. So, well, it might have been because I closed it up. I'm not sure. So I'm just going to, hopefully somewhere here I can cancel. So I'm going to hit up in this corner. I'm up in the top left corner. Oh, that won't do it. Well, let's see. How do I get out of this spot? Check my device. I just need to get to somewhere where there's a cancel. Oh. Okay, so down the bottom it says, oh, so it did, so now it says finish. So I finished. Because I wanted to get back here. So I have 8, I need 15. So I need 7 more. So I'm just going to delete one, and I just clicked on it and hit my delete key on my keyboard. I think you can probably do it up along here, or maybe right click on it and delete. Okay. So what did I say? I had 4. I had 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So that's all I had. I didn't have to draw anything again. So I'm just going to go hit the make it at the top right. I'm all set to go. So bottom right, continue. Cotton. Okay, so this is where we were before. So it's checking to make sure I have the rotary blade in, which I do. It wants me to load the mat. So I'm going to leave it here this time. And I'm going to go ahead and load the mat, and you'll see the screen will change. Okay, so we did the first one, we just did the second one. Now it's just press go. So I'm going to come back to the machine so you can see. So now the, you get it in further like I had it before. Let's see. Okay, so now this was the load mat button. So now the little C Cricut is flashing. That means it's time to get down to business. So I'm just going to select that. Sorry if that's a little noisy. And I'll let it just, so it's measuring, it measures the mat, and then it measures what's on the mat. Okay, so it's starting to cut. And I'll go ahead so you don't have to listen to all that. And I'll come back as soon as it's done cutting. Okay, so when it's done cutting, it says unload material. And then I'm going to go, well, I don't want to switch back and forth and make you dizzy. So I'm just going to hit that unload button, the same as we did when we loaded it. So that now you can see your screen is going to change. And hopefully down the bottom, okay, so it'll say finish. I'm going to finish. And we're done. So now I need to do another color. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this guy and I'm going to do duplicate and just bring him down because my other color is the same size of fabric. And then I'm ready to go again. So let me get us back to video. And this time we're just going to push that a little more out of the way. So the first button, so here's your, I'm up here in this little corner. So here's your power button, and then right below it is the unload and load button. And it will blink when it's time to hit the button. So if it's not blinking, it's not time to hit it. And if it's time to hit the go button, which is the little Cricut, then it'll be blinking. So you don't have to wonder which button to hit. The one that's blinking is the one. So I was just getting my stuff in order. Let me move this out of the way. And again, the first thing I'm going to do is take off the fabric. And I'll try to take the little threads with me as I go. So, this is just my waist. So I always do this right away. So this piece of fabric is gonna go in my applique bag. And the rest really is just left over. And again, I'll show you again. I'm just coming along here. And this time I'm going to be a little smarter. I'm coming along between two fabrics at a time. So instead of being on one fabric, I'm between the two of them, which picks up that little piece and my piece of fabric. So you can see here, I'm coming right down through. So I'm getting that little piece at the same time, so I don't have to fight getting that off. Oop, should have done that edge. So I want to grab that little piece like this little piece. There we go. So now I have, where am I? Now I have 15 2.5 by 5-inch rectangles that are all perfect. And here's my waist on the inside. Can't beat that. So if you've got some squares, half squares, rectangles, whatever you have to cut, just come into the design space, grab the shape, make it the shape you need, how many of them you need. Keep track of, you're not going to go 12 to 12 because it needs to come in a little on each side. So I I do the 11 and a half, somewhere in there, or smaller, depends what you need. But just remember that you can keep that fabric hanging off of this side. So this is the side you're feeding in, and this side you can have that fabric hanging down. So I thought that was a pretty easy way to do it. Sometimes we don't have enough room. I don't have enough room behind my machine for the 24-inch mat. I'd have to move it to another spot. Well, it was just as easy for me to use the 12 mat and then just move the fabric up. That wasn't too bad at all. So thanks for joining me, and I hope you try cutting some fabric on your Cricut Maker. And remember, it's the rotary cutter and the fabric grip mat. Bye.